What's up guys, it's BD here, and I haven't done a true mousepad review in a very long time because there are just so many options out there, and to be frank, most of them are just trying to be an artisan pad. But then comes along a company like X-raypad that is providing unique experiences with their pads, and I think with all three of these mouse pads that we're going to go through today, they've managed to create something unique and different enough from artisan without just being a straight up artisan killer or artisan copycat. So today we're going to look at the Aqua Control Pro, the Origin Pro, and this new Heavy B mouse pad to see how they stack up against the competition. Alright, so the Aqua Control Pro Neon is coming in at $30 to $50 with its sizes ranging from a large to an extra large square. Here I have a regular XL, which is slightly smaller than an artisan pad. I do wish that these did come in a 4090 by 420 size, but I've managed to use this for a couple of days with my 43 centimeter for a 360 sensitivity, so it's been plenty for that. But when I did try a low sensitivity like an 81 centimeter for a 360, I did kind of go off the pad a little bit. Now it comes in three different softnesses: an extra soft, a soft, and a mid. The more softness you have, the more control it will give by allowing your mouse to sink into the mouse pad and thus creating more resistance around the mouth. Mid is great for tracking games, and soft is going to be better for click timing games like CS2 and Valorant. The stitching on all these pads is amazing. There's no fraying to be seen anywhere on the mouse pad. The mouse pad is pour on and it sticks to your desk like glue. I'm very happy with the pour on base. Now when it comes to the speed, it's more on the faster side since this is a heat treated surface, but also that creates a near perfect X and Y axis that are very similar but not exactly the same. It reminds me of like an Artisan Heian or a Strider, but with that X and Y axis being completely the same and with a smoother texture for your arm. The Heian can sometimes be a little bit grabby on your arm, especially without a sleeve, whereas the Artisan Pro can be used without a sleeve and it is super comfortable. In use, this mouse pad excels at micro adjustments, changing directions after your initial flick. If you're over flicking or under flicking, feels effortless and natural. It's fast, but it gives you a nice sense of control at the same time, especially when you get down to the extra soft version. If you're playing more of a track heavy game like Apex or Call of Duty, again go with the mid version of this pad. As for the durability, I've been putting some time in on the pad and I haven't noticed any slow spots yet. I know the Heian is known for being that like tank mouse pad that can last forever. This one is doing a really good job at the moment, but we will see how it holds up over time. I can only speak for a couple of weeks to a month of having this mouse pad. If I could go back, I would definitely put this on my top tactical FPS mouse pad video 100%. This is definitely going to get a recommendation from me. Next up, we have the X-raypad Origin Pro. I have two here, the Tero X X-raypad Pro Cerberus, and the regular black. Loving the design on this pad. The top of this mouse pad feels more like a traditional cloth pad, silky, smooth texture that isn't abrasive at all. Comes in two different firmnesses, soft and extra soft. Again, if you want more control, go with the extra soft. If you want more of a balanced experience, go with the soft, which is what I typically prefer and recommend to people. The stitching is low and you can't feel it at all. There isn't any fraying on this, super tight, and it is super soft on your arm, so you won't get any irritation there. It has the same pour on base and it just stays in place just like the other Aqua Pro. I would say that this is a medium fast control pad. Again, the X and the Y are very similar. Comparable pads would be something like a GSR SE or an LG Saturn Pro. It has a very slick type surface that's great for tracking and flicking. They did say that this pad is great for CS2 and Valorant, but I did find it to be a little too fast for Valorant. I would actually prefer this more for a track heavy game because of the slickness. It is just so good. There's very little friction when tracking and making changes to the directions. It feels very effortless, even more so than the Aqua Control Pro, which is a bit weird because you think that one would be faster, but this one actually feels faster than that one. Me personally, I like a little bit of texture to my mouse pads. It helps me gain some control. This one I felt like it was so slick and silky that it was hard to kind of get that precision that I need in my click timing game. So I still prefer something a little more balanced like the GSR SE, which isn't as slick as this mouse pad, but if I play games like Call of Duty or Halo, I go for a pad of this nature. So do I recommend this? Yes, but there are other pads that I like better than it. Now comes my favorite mouse pad out of the three. It's the new Heavy B Extra Soft. This one should be up for pre-order at the time of this video and shipping out later this month. Pricing is around $30 to $50. This pad features a honeycomb texture, which is where I'm guessing the B name comes from, Captain Obvious. More on how the pattern comes into play later on. As with the other X-ray pads, this has very nice stitching, super solid again, very low, stays out of the way, very minimal, love that. And again, has that same X-ray pad pour on base, amazing stuff, doesn't move on your desk. So the pattern of this mouse pad is like nothing I've ever tried before. I want to say it's a mud pad, but it's not quite a traditional mud pad at the same time. It just feels like there's a lot of resistance against your mouse, but without the muddy feeling. The X and Y are different when you're going horizontally. On the X axis, it feels like you're going up over a bunch of ridges and it gives you a nice feedback. And when you're going up, it's there, but it's very slight, and diagonal movements are also different. Since you feel most of the control over the horizontal movement, it's going to be great again for CS2 and Valorant. I put it right below the GSR in terms of how slow it is, but not as slow as something like an Xtrfy Zyrail. But mouse skates play a huge factor in this mouse pad because of those ridges. With the Jade skates, it felt more like a mud pad, and then with the traditional big mouse skates, it felt a lot slicker. So I think it's because those Jade dots, when they go over the ridges, are catching on them a lot and you get a lot of feedback, whereas when you have one big slab, it's hard to tell what those ridges are. So if you're getting this pad, I highly recommend like some dot skates for this so you can feel those ridges and get the most control out of this pad. But if you do want to go with bigger mouse skates, you are going to get a slicker pad and it moves up more towards a medium type of pad and still feels good, but not as good as when you have the dot skates. Comparable pads, there's honestly nothing quite like this. The texture gives you a lot of control, but in a different way. It provides more of a feedbacky control as opposed to being more of a slow mud feeling. I love this pad, and in fact it might be my new main just because of how natural it feels when you use it. I picked it up, I started gaming with it, I started hitting some incredible shots with it. This mouse pad was love at first swipe, and if it holds up over time, and I'm hoping it does, I think it can dethrone the GSR for me, because the way that I'm able to control and hit flick shots with this without it feeling muddy is S tier. This is truly a different mouse pad. I rarely get blown away, but with this mouse pad, it actually sparked me to make this video on all three of these mouse pads and get it out to you guys as soon as possible because you need to know about it. It is simply incredible. I love the X-ray pad, tried something new, and in my opinion, it worked. Alright, so here's how I would rank the mouse pads in terms of what I prefer, and then I'll throw up the strengths of each so you can check those out. I think everybody at some point needs to check out this new Heavy B mouse pad because it is so unique. It's nice to have in your collection. It is something to behold, especially if you're a newbie or want something more than what you've been trying out or just an artisan killer. Alright guys, so that is my time. Hope you have enjoyed this video on the new X-ray pad mouse pads. If you have any more questions, let me know down in the comments below. It has been your boy BT saying peace.